With Persona 5 Royal coming out on Tuesday of this week, I thought in anticipation for this video game being released that I would talk about two of my favorite things about the Persona series, including the two things that I'm most excited for in Persona 5 Royal, and that is the story of the game and the gameplay itself. The stories in the Persona series have always been great, from Persona 3 to Persona 4 to Persona 5 to all of the other released versions of the game, including Persona 3 FES to Persona 3 Portable to Persona 4 Golden to now Persona 5 Royal. The stories have always been fantastic. But why though? Why are they always so great? Why are they always so interesting? Why are the characters always so much fun to interact with and play around and deepen your social links with? It's very, very simple. Because the game allows you to have deep player interaction within the game. Now, what does that mean? Well, in most story-driven games, the story is very, very linear, meaning that there's going to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. And there's very, very little variation on player experience between those three things. Now, an example of this is The Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption 2. You start at the beginning, and at the end, no matter what you do, there's going to be a specific ending in those two games. Now, in the Persona series and in Persona 5 Royal, the story is very, very liquid. It's constantly evolving. A great example of an evolving and liquid story would have to be The Witcher 3, with all of these different characters that you can interact with and all of these different side plots going on within the main game and this overarching plot that's going on. That's very, very similar to Persona 5 Royal and the Persona series as a whole. Different characters, you can interact with different characters, but overall there's going to be a overarching plot that's going to be the main focus of the game. And on top of that main plot, there are these characters that you can interact with that are going to help you in your missions within Persona 5, whether it's going to be directly, like they're going to be in your party, or it's going to be indirectly, as they're going to give you support throughout the game. And these characters, they aren't cliches, they're not these one-note characters. Some of them kind of are, like Ryuji, but Ann and Makoto and even Futaba, they represent real people and situations that are in real life, that happen in real life. Those bonds and those deep relationships, they contribute to the overall storytelling of the video game. There are points in the game where you're going to be tested. The main antagonist is going to offer you a way out. They're going to offer you the chance to join them. He's going to tell you, hey, if you come over to my side, I can give you this and I can give you that. And you're pretty much making a deal with the devil. But there's positives to it. There's also negatives, obviously, for joining the villain. But when it comes to fighting him, there's going to be negatives as well. And you kind of have to weigh that. And I really, really enjoy that dichotomy within the game, not just interacting with the main antagonist, but also interacting with your main characters in the game and figuring out who should you spend a lot of time with and who you shouldn't, and who should you befriend and who should you take into the dungeons and all of this other stuff. It plays into the story, and the story is great on its own without the evolving nature of the story, without you picking your confidants and things of that nature. It's great on its own because it has a great story to tell. When I think of turn-based combat, I think back to my time with Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. In that game, instead of having the traditional 1v1 style of combat, it turns into a 2v2 style of combat. Because of this, you have more combinations of Pokemon abilities and strategies to work with. You may only have one damage dealer and a utility Pokemon, or you have two damage dealers, or your party is meant to have no weaknesses because one Pokemon counters the other Pokemon's weakness. For example, you may have a fire Pokemon in your party or on the field, so you have a grass Pokemon to counteract the water Pokemon that would extinguish the fire Pokemon. Or you would have a water Pokemon to counteract the fire Pokemon that would burn your grass Pokemon, right? So you would have counters for the weaknesses of your Pokemon's weaknesses. So you would have counters to the weakness of your Pokemon's weakness, if that makes sense. But in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, the whole point of the game is to create synergy, and that's what you can find in Persona 5 Royal. Your party members, they have specific weaknesses that enemies can counteract. You have weaknesses as well, depending on which persona you use as well. Certain combinations of party members do damage, provide utility, and can counter other teammates' weaknesses as well. On top of that, you yourself have the ability to create and make and capture different persona, kind of like in Pokemon, to put into your own individual party as well. So I think you can have like 6 persona in your party at one moment, at one time. And those 6 persona, they can be paired with a bunch of different combinations of your own party members' persona as well. And a lot of different combinations of gameplay can be created because of the different persona that you can have and the different persona that your teammates have and the abilities that your persona and your teammates' personas can have as well. It can create an unfathomable amount of combinations that you can use to play the game in Persona 5 Royale. I can't wait for this game to be released on Tuesday. It's been one of those games that I've been waiting for in a long time, and I can't wait to see what Atlus has created once again when I dive back into the metaverse. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. Until my next video, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.